we should all be compensated with hazard pay after having to watch the Chicago Sky and Indiana Fever game. Man, that Sky team is straight trash, homie.
The Indiana Fever just took the Chicago Sky to school again. And folks, this wasn't just a win, it was a demolition job. Sophie Cunningham and Lexie Hull rained threes like it was a shooting drill, and Chicago had no answers. Here's the question. How much more embarrassing can it get for Sky? Let's not sugarcoat this. The Chicago Sky are awful right now. Not struggling, not in a rebuilding phase, just flat out terrible. And the Indiana Fever, even missing key pieces, just show them what a real basketball team looks like.
Away, 2-on-1 break. Hull running the left-hand side, dumps it back to Cunningham.
Before we talk about Sophie Cunningham and Lexie Hull lighting it up, we need to put something into perspective. Out of Indiana's wins this season, for have come against Chicago. That's right. A big chunk of the Fever's record is thanks to repeatedly smacking this one sorry team around. Without the Sky, Indiana's record would look a whole lot more balanced. But hey, you play who's in front of you, and Indiana just keeps cashing in. Now, the Sky's problems start with the fact that Angel Reese is still out with back injury. Nobody seems to know when she's coming back, or what's really going on there. No star player, no offensive leader, and no one to rally the team. It's a recipe for disaster. Camila Cardoso was benched, Ariel Atkins was barely a factor, and Chicago had no offensive firepower from start to finish. It was almost comical watching them try to generate points. Honestly, if you put them in a half-court set against a decent college team right now, it would be a coin flip. Meanwhile, Indiana came in focused, and it showed. The game was closer than it should have been for first half, which was kind of frustrating if you're a Fever fan. But once the third quarter hit, it was over. The Fever started pulling away. The Sky couldn't keep up, and the scoreboard told a story.
With 26, Hull, one more three. Oh, it's been that.
And here's where we get to the fun part. Lexie Hull's big night. People have been talking like she'd lost her shot, like maybe she was just going to fade into the background. Yeah, about that. She went 4 for 6 from beyond the arc, finished with 17 points, and added 3 steals, 3 assists, and 3 rebounds. That's not just showing up, that's making a statement.
Baskets.
Open three. Oh, what a sight for Lexie Hull.
And let's be real, when Lexie hit those big shots, you could see Caitlin Clark on the bench getting fired up for her. That's what team chemistry looks like. Natasha Howard quietly did her job, pulling down 10 rebounds and chipping in 7 points. Aaliyah Boston, efficient as always, went 7-11 from the field for 15 points, plus 4 boards and 3 assists. She's just so steady that people almost forget to mention her. But Boston's presence changes the game on both ends.
Just to add to that, I think Kelsey's not giving herself enough credit. Her and Sophie putting themselves before the team, making sure that they're sacrificing, playing out of position, doing things that they don't normally do, maybe uncomfortable, but I think they both really did a great job of sacrificing in those moments and doing what the team needed to do.
Oh, girl. Sexy Lexie.
And then there's Kelsey Mitchell. 26 points on 9 of 18 shooting, plus 8 assists. That's a complete performance. The scoring was great, but the passing, that's what made the offense click. You can tell Mitchell's confidence is through the roof right now at our course. We can't forget Sophie Cunningham. She went 5 of 10 from the floor, hit 3 of 6 from deep, and finished with 16 points. Add in her hustle plays, rebounds, and tough defense, and you got the kind of all-around game every coach loves. And man, when Sophie's shot is falling, you can just feel the energy shift in the building.
Keep her on the floor.
Cunningham gets a second chance, and she makes it count.
The best part? These threes weren't empty stats. They were daggers. Every time Chicago looked like they might claw their way back into it, here came Sophie or Lexie knocking down a shot that just killed whatever momentum the Sky had. That's how you put away a team. Now, I know some people will say, well, it's just the Sky. This isn't a big deal. Yeah, except it is a big deal. Good teams don't play down to their competition. They handle business. And Indiana did exactly that. Let's widen the lens and talk about how this game fits the bigger picture for both teams. For Indiana, nights like this say the system is sturdy, the pieces fit, shooters are in the right places, the bigs understand timing, and the guards control tempo. That's a foundation you can take on the road. For Chicago, the film is harsh, the spacing is off, the effort wobbles, and the identity changes quarter to quarter. You saw it in simple actions. Indiana ran a basic pistol set, guard dribble handoff into a ball screen, 4 times a row and got 4 different clean looks. First, Mitchell pulled up. Next, she hit Hull in the corner. Then, Boston slid for a pocket pass. Finally, Cunningham lifted for a wing 3. Same shell, different punch. That's called teaching a defense. There's no safe answer. Chicago never forced Indiana to a plan B. When the Sky tried to blitz, the Fever hit the short roll and played 4-on-3. When the Sky switched, Indiana slipped and punished the hesitation. When the Sky sagged, shooters made them pay. It wasn't complicated. It was disciplined. The Fever didn't need tricks. They trusted first reads and made the simple pass. Let's log a few key sequences for anyone clipping highlights. Early second quarter, Hull runs the baseline, uses a stagger, sets her feet. Catching fire. Good. Next trip, she goes screens. Both defenders panic. Mitchell turns a corner. Floater, good. 2 minutes later, Sophie trails in transition. Left wing 3, good. That 9-point burst turned a choppy game into control. Mid-third quarter. Chicago runs a horn set, but never hits the elbow. The entry is late. The shot clock bleeds, and a rushed mid-range clanks. Indiana races the other way. Boston seals. Inside feed, easy 2. Those back-to-back possessions felt like a neon sign. One team sure itself. One team guessing. Late third, Mitchell snakes a pick and roll, draws 2, whips a one-handed dart to the corner. Hall drills it. The bench explodes. The camera catches teammates yelling, "Shoot it," before the ball even arrives. Confidence is contagious. The Sky, by contrast, took threes they didn't want and passed up threes they should have taken. That's a team living without a map. We also need to mention something that won't show up in the box score. Indiana's screening detail. Guards waited for contact. Bigs flipped angles when defenders tried to cheat under. On a few plays, Boston set what looked like a down screen, then pivoted into a dribble handoff, forcing the on-ball defender to handle 2 decisions in half a second. That is craft. That is teaching. Personnel check. With Caitlin Clark out, pace control falls to Mitchell, and she handled it like a pro. She didn't spam early shots. She got the ball to side, reversed it, and let actions breathe. When the Sky failed to stop the ball, she burned them. When they walled off the lane, she fed shooters. That balance is what allowed Hull and Cunningham to catch in rhythm instead of throwing up rescue heaves. Ari McDonald being present on the baseline was a small note, but it mattered to the group. Players noticed support. Sydney Carlson not being in the building was another small note. When both point guards are out, rotations get weird. And yet, Indiana handled the pockets without panic. They staggered Mitchell's minutes smartly, stole rest with timeouts, and trusted secondary handlers to make the easy pass. Let's talk defense again, because it absolutely shaped the shot diet. Indiana iced side pick and rolls, keeping the ball out of the middle where help is harder. They showed early help from the nail, then recovered on the flight of the pass. That's how you invite mid-range pull-ups and take away corner threes. Chicago accepted the invite. Bricked out on the glass. Howard and Boston were the bouncers. No free entries. When a long miss kicked out, Hull and Cunningham were already sinking the tag. That team rebounding erased the Sky's best path to cheap points. It also fueled a hit-ahead game that punished Chicago's slow floor balance. Offense and defense feed each other when the habits are this clean. There's a stat-head way to say this. Indiana won expected value.
And the
Better
Indiana
looks at the
Fever,
rim. Better
even
looks at
missing
three.
key pieces,
Fewer bad
just showed them
mid-range
what a
attempts,
real
more
basketball
free
team
throws,
looks
and
like.
way fewer empty trips. But you didn't need a spreadsheet to see it. Your eyes told you which shots felt heavy and which shots felt light. The Fever lived in light. Coaching detail popped on special situations. End of quarter execution was crisp on one baseline out of bounds. Indiana ran a simple screen-to-screener action that freed Sophie for a clean catch. She didn't force it, swung to the top, and Mitchell buried the reset jumper. 2 points you plan for are 2 points you never give back. Let's slide to the Sky for a second, because yes, there were a few bright spots. A couple of players battled, contested, and tried to pull the group along. But every time they punched, they got matched and raised. That's the problem with a team that hasn't built its layers yet. One good thing happens, 2 empty trips follow, and the game drifts away in slow motion. Angel Reese's absence hangs over all of it. She changes the math on the glass and brings a presence that makes teammates play bigger. But injuries are reality, and schemes still have to function. The Sky needs sets that produce automatic looks even when talent is thin. Right now, they're asking guards to make something from nothing far too often. If I'm in their film room tomorrow, I'm drawing a big circle around protect the arc, top lock corner shooters. Send the first pass away from the middle. Force long twos, then end the possession with body on a body. And on offense, steal some of Indiana's rhythm. Hit the paint in the first 8 seconds or swing. Swing to force a long closeout. Back to Indiana. And yes, we're giving flowers. The poise was real. There wasn't a lot of talking. There was a lot of playing. When you see teammates point to each other after a backdoor cut or head, nod after switch, that's grown up basketball. It says trust. It says we are watching the same game and making the same reads. Lexie Hull deserved a spotlight segment here because this looked like a corner turning night. She didn't rush early makes into heat. Check nonsense. She kept hunting good space, kept her base under her, and stayed violent with her hands on defense. Those steals were not gambles. They were earned by studying Chicago's lazy passes. That is development in plain view. Sophie Cunningham's tone, setting went beyond shooting. She sprinted the lanes to flatten the defense, filled the wing exactly to break, and never drifted into her teammates' laps. Use the floor. Give the ball handle room. Make the catch clean. Those are the tiny rules that make a fast break look smooth instead of chaotic. Aaliyah Boston's presence calmed everything. When Indiana needed a clean trip, they parked her on the block and let the offense orbit. When they needed movement, she became a handoff hub at the elbow. Her footwork is quiet and mean. One dribble to the chest, baby hook, jog back on defense. No trash talk needed. Mitchell's 8 assists don't happen without screeners hitting bodies and shooters being ready. That's why this one feels so bankable. It wasn't a one-woman banner night. It was 5 players doing their jobs on time. You can repeat that. You can put it in a bag and carry it into the next city. And yes, we noticed the bench energy. Celebrations on makes. Quick help. Ups after falls, hand offs of towels and water without a coach asking. Those are culture tells. Teams that like each other play half a step faster because they trust the next pass will be there. Now, playoff talk. No, this single game doesn't crown anyone, but it feeds the habits you'll need when the whistle tightens and the half court matters. Spacing, pace control, and glass security are playoff food. Indiana ate a full plate tonight. Let's catalog a few more teachable plays for the film junkies. Early fourth. Chicago shows a fake zone. Indiana doesn't blink. They park Boston at the nail, run cutters through the gaps, and end with a wide. Open corner 3 next trip. Sky try full court pressure. Mitchell breaks it with 2 passes. Second, side action, foul at the rim. That's how you answer gimmicks. Calm, fast, exact. Clock management late was clean. No hero shots. No early pull-ups. Indiana bled seconds, hunted the weakest defender, and took layups or feet. Set threes. That is the difference between closing and almost closing. It looks boring on the play by play sheet. It wins series, so let's close with the old rule. Make or miss league. Shots fell tonight, yes, but they fell because the right people shot the right shots from the right spots. Hall's feet were set. Cunningham's catch was clean. Mitchell's pull-ups came out of pace. Boston's hooks came after seals. You designed that. You practiced that. You earned that. If you're the Fever staff, you bottle this. Clip the third quarter run. Clip the helper rotation that led to a runout. Clip the slob action for a lay. 2. Put it into the teaching bank. Then, when the star returns, you add her gravity to this order and watch the ceiling lift another floor. If you're the Sky, you hit reset. Get healthy. Guard the arc like it's sacred. Build one action you can call 5 times in a row when the gym is loud. Find 8 players who defend like their minutes depend on it. Then add layers. Right now, it's basics o'clock. For the fans who ask whether Indiana can win ugly, this was the answer. It started pretty and got pragmatic. When the legs got heavy, they trusted the glass and the paint. When the Sky made mini runs, they answered with feet, set threes, not hero ball. That bodes well when the calendar flips and the game slows. Final thought on rolls. Everyone had one. Mitchell steered. Hull spaced and stole. Cunningham spaced and sparked. Boston steadied. Howard hammered the glass. Bench guys filled gaps without trying to write their own script. That's how a team grows from fun. To real point one more gnawed the crowd. They were loud in smart places, not just after makes, but before catches, on defense when the clock was low, and after hustle plays that save possessions. Home court is a skill when fans understand timing. Indiana's fans passed that test tonight that S.O. Yes, it was just a Sky, but it was also a clean, layered, professional win built on habits at scale. If you've been waiting for signs that Indiana can bank games without a circus, this was your sign. More of this more often, and the rest of the league has to start scouting the Fever like a problem, not a pit stop. Indiana didn't win by luck. They won by habits, timing, and shooters who punished every lazy closeout. Sophie and Lexie lit the fuse. The rest finished the job, and Chicago got smoked. Your call. Are the Fever building something real or bullying weak teams? Drop a comment, hit like, and subscribe for more post-game truth from us right here.